Angel, the Mithista Incident, Book 1 of the Ethereum Chronicles by Scott Borgman. The flashes of pain in Danny's head became more frequent as Chris drove her back across town. By the time he pulled up to the apartment building where she lived, she had both hands pressed against her temples. "Maybe I should take you to the hospital," he said, putting the car in park. "No, it's just a headache or something," she replied. "It's getting worse, Danny." "I'll be fine tomorrow. I just need to sleep. And it'll be gone by then, I'm sure," she said, and then sucked in a sharp breath as a bolt of pain went through her skull. And when it disappeared, she fumbled for the handle momentarily before managing to open the door. Chris shut off the car and quickly ran around the front to the other side as Danny got out. She took a single step toward the apartment building and then stumbled as another searing pain went through her head. For a moment she thought she was going to fall down, but Chris had reached her side and quickly wrapped his arm around her waist. Taking her arm, he draped it around his neck and helped her into the door of the building. She handed him her keys, and after a few tries he found the right one and opened the building front door. Once they were inside, he guided her slowly down the hall to her apartment near the far end. Unlocking the door, he led her over to the couch where she collapsed with a grateful sigh as another flash of pain faded from her head. "Do you want me to sleep here with you tonight?" Chris asked as he put her keys down on the coffee table, and then realising how the question sounded, his face flushed. "Not with you, just be here, like crash on the couch or something. I mean, not on the couch with you, just, be here in case." "I'll be okay, Chris. It's not as bad as it was. I just need some sleep," Danny said wearily. The flashes of pain in her head had disappeared, leaving only a dull ache that was already starting to gradually fade away, as if being home in her apartment had helped somehow. "Okay," he replied and headed for the front door, both relieved and a little bit disappointed at the same time. "But promise you'll call me or text me the moment you wake up and let me know how you're doing. If not, I'm going to come over with the fire department, the National Guard, the police." "I promise," she assured him, offering a tired smile. "Thanks, Chris, you're the best." "That's what friends are for," he replied, returning her smile with one of his own before stepping into the hall and closing the door behind him. He stood there for a moment and then glanced over his shoulder. "Friends," he repeated softly, "but I hope we can be more than that, Danny." He walked down the hall and out to his car, wishing he'd taken Val's advice and told Danny how he felt about her. Back in the apartment, Danny lay on the couch with her eyes closed and one arm draped over her forehead, trying to gather up enough energy to get up and go to the bedroom. While the couch was fine for sitting on, it was terribly uncomfortable to sleep on, a fact that she discovered after falling asleep once watching a movie. Still, if she got up, the dull ache might return, or worse, the flashes of pain. Given the choice between the two, she decided that waking up with a sore neck and back was far more preferable than risking another round of feeling as though she was getting an electric shock in her head. She'd almost fallen asleep when the pain returned with such force that she cried out and rolled off the couch. Getting to her knees, Danny put her head on the floor and covered it with her hands. When the pain faded away momentarily, she pulled her hands away and softly lifted her head to look at the nearby clock. 11:58 p.m. She stayed there for another minute before crawling over to the hallway. As the clock struck midnight, her golden birthday began. A pain unlike anything Danny had ever felt before engulfed her head and flowed down her entire body. It was so abrupt and intense. All she could do was put her hands over her head, curl up in a fetal position on the floor, and then the images began. They were brief flashes that appeared only for an instant before disappearing from her mind. Fleeting images that offered glimpses, but not full pictures, images of falling down through the clouds in the sky like a rocket towards the earth. And pain, burning pain that was reflected on her body as if her shoulder blades had been set on fire. The flashes lengthened as she plummeted ever downward, with the earth growing closer every passing moment until the full picture became clear in her mind. For a few seconds, Danny could almost feel herself streaking through the sky towards the empty field with her wings on fire, trying desperately to at least slow her descent. Wait, what? Wings? As she slammed into the ground and sent a cloud of dirt and bits of rock up into the air, the picture vanished from her mind, along with the pain that teared through her body and made her feel as though she was being ripped apart. She drew in a gasping breath and slowly raised her head up on her hands and knees. Her legs felt like jelly and her arms were quivering, barely able to support her. After a moment, Danny hesitantly got to her feet, half expecting her legs to give out as she put a hand over her face and placed the other against the wall. She took several deep breaths, trying to calm her racing heart that was beating so fast it was like she'd been scared to death while walking through a Halloween horror fun house. "It has happened, as we feared it might," a deep voice intoned from the living room behind her. And if you would like to read more of this story, please get over to Amazon and you'll find all of Scott's fantasy novels there. I am KKantas from Author Assist. Thank you for watching.